Set number 31. Start off with these round posters. I've got 4 of the Schwinn logo ones. These are just paper posters. And 2 of each of all the other ones. Last longer, simply the best, rides better, and more for your money. These are about a foot across, I guess, and that's like 8 inches or something. Item 2, a bunch of paperwork that came from George Rennie Bicycle Shop in Rochester, New York, 1964. This is all dated 64 stuff. Bunch of communications from the Arnold Schwinn and Company, Schwinn Paramount order form, and a whole bunch of price lists from that year, from 1964. And then item 3 looks like your everyday NOS Schwinn disc brake hub, dated 71, except for the fact that it's got 36 holes. Don't see that every day. I've heard that they had these on some varsities, but I never saw it. I'm guessing that's what this would go to. That's NOS, got the 2 rings on there, dated 71. Set number 32. We'll start out with a couple more NOS patches. And we've got some NOS hands from a Schwinn clock. I don't know which one. Item 3, another patch kit. This one I think is NOS. Item 4, a whole stack of old style repair tags. Not used, probably 20 or 30 of those. Item 5, 69 Schwinn 1000 club pin, mint condition. Foam's not in great shape, but the pin's nice. Item 6, here's a quiz, kids. What is this thing? They use this to accurately position the brake levers on a 10-speed. It's actually a Schwinn approved tool. Item 7, another clock. This is a square one. This one's about, what, 18 inches across. Has all hands on it. It's a little bit discolored here and there, but overall in very nice shape, and it works. I unplugged it at almost 9:15 in the morning when I was packing up my shop. Set number 33. A lot of the pieces for those quality boards. First item is the rim sections. You can tell they're the real rim sections because the cut ends are chrome plated over. Got the wimpy competitor's rim there too. Item 2, a bunch of the hooks that hold the stuff onto the board. I've also got another big bag of hooks somewhere else. Item 3 is another tray from the factory cafeteria. Item 4 is one of the bottom bracket bases from the board. Item 5 is the paint demonstration from the board. 2 different ones, shows you all the different layers of paint underneath there. Item 6 is the frame sections, the bottom bracket and the head tube sections from the quality board. Item 7 is actually a set of hardbound service manuals. Usually you see these loose bound. There's a set 1 and 2 of hardbound service manuals. Those are nice. And then number 8 is a new set of all the pieces that go on the quality board. I have no idea where I found this, but somebody had them still sealed up in the bag. Number 34, start of the paperwork. This is all Schwinn reporters. I pulled out some interesting ones from a pile of, there's a whole pile of loose ones underneath here, but I pulled out some of these interesting ones with ads in them. There's, let's see, there's a super, and there's introducing the new riding thrill. This looks like the same thing as that little 2-sided intro flyer thing that went inside the sales brochure. Let's see, yeah, that super one's from July of '64. And there's another 64 right there, shows all 3 bikes including the Fair Lady. And there's a runabout with white walls on it, must be 68, got a stick on it too. And then we've got 2 whole different sets of binders here full of these things. There's an older style binder, and those are all full. And then this, I'm assuming, is a little bit newer style binder, and those are all full. So there's just stacks of these things. There's even a pile of these underneath here too. Loads of these things. Just couldn't go through them all. That's set 34. Set number 35. Let's see if I can remember all these. These are all parts and accessories manuals. This one's a 64. Parts and accessories, nice inside. Then we've got 66, 67. We've got 68 with bike specs in the back. Then we've got another 68 below that. Then 2 69s. Then a 68 and a 70. Then over here we have a 69, a 70, and a 71. Never been used. Then over here we've got 72, 73, 74 not used, 74, 75, another 75 below there, a 76, 2 77s, and a 79. Is that enough? Set 35. Number 36, more paper. The first thing we have are these sales manuals. There are actually 5 of them, all dated 1968, and they show a lot of this stuff here, which is all the sales promo stuff you could get, all the posters. There's a fastback poster introducing the 5-speed stick shift, all sorts of neat stuff inside of these, all the tools for the store, all the store layouts, all kinds of stuff. And then over here we've got a couple of collections of service clinic bulletins, from a couple different stores, a bunch of different lists of stuff. Shows oddball stuff like don't forget to grind your freewheels so they'll shift properly. All sorts of little tips like that they'd show the dealers about servicing the bikes. So that's a little bit more paper. Set number 37, even more paper. We'll start out in the back. We've got softbound service manuals. There's a real nice set, looks brand new, volume 1 and 2. Then there's a well-used set. This can be your reference set, volume 1 and 2. And then there's another mint, volume 2, never been used, looks like. So there's 2.5 sets, plus we had the hardbound ones earlier. A whole bunch of those floating around. Then there's a, these are just 2 empty binders. Here's one for service, volume 2, and here's one for parts, so some of those parts and accessories books can go in there. And then this is a real neat item from 73. This is a dealer franchise thing or something. It's got all ad mats for all the bikes and all the accessories, and I think it's got radio commercials and some other stuff in here. Let's see what we got. Parts and accessories promotion, dealer sales aids, fixtures, supplies, and equipment, tool catalog, and radio and television. Let's see what we got in here. There's nothing in this radio and television, but I've got other ones that have that stuff in there. There's a tool catalog. What's this blue one back here? Fixtures, supplies, and equipment. That's all tools and stuff. And then on the outside of this one, it's got a really nice cover. Retail merchandising guide. Shows a cyclery on there. This must have been a later one, because none of the other stuff had nice pictures like this on it. That's a real cool piece. Number 38, bicycle specification books. Start in the back row. Got 2 74s, 75, 75 Paramount, 76 Paramount, 76 regular bikes, and a couple of 77 regular bikes. And then down here we've got a 1970 and a 72. And then in this folder we've actually got a nice mint set of 77, 76, 75, and 74. Those are all inside of there. And then over here we've got 67, There's a ram's horn as an example. It shows you all the parts that go on the bikes. And then 65. This has got the, looks like a J33. And all the parts with all the part numbers go on there. So, that's bike specs. Set number 39, bicycle sales registers. Most of these are unused. Some of them do actually have some sales in them. You could probably hunt down the people and see if they still have their bikes, but they start way back. This is a 57. This one's a 59. It's in the original envelope that it came in. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's actually got a 59 postmark on it. It says it's from Schwinn. Then we've got a 61, a couple of 62s, 63, 65, 66, 68, a couple of 69s, 70, 71, it looks like 71 and 72 was used, and 73 was used for 73, 74, and 75. These are all full of the actual sales from a bike store, and I can't remember where it was. But they are filled in, and that you can tell what model it is, so you might be able to hunt the bikes down. And then we've got, let's see, 3 of these later ones, which I'm assuming would be like 74, 5, 6 time frame. 3 there, and there's actually a new one in the box under there. So these are all sales registers. Number 40, even more paper. Here's an old style service manual. Then there's a service bulletin showing how to put your caliper brake levers on there. Some information about Bendix coaster brakes. This is 76 service bulletins. And we've got a 1970 dealer tool catalog. We've got a whole stack of these news flash things. Punched card order form. How about that? I think that's dated 1960 or something. That's really old. All sorts of news flashes, price lists. There's just piles of this stuff. Then we've got another 1970 tool catalog. Then we've got a service bulletin, fastback sales and service hints, 1966. Information from the factory about the fastbacks. And we've also got a 1966 Zone 2 price list. Shows the prices for all the bikes. And then we've got the flyer for those video units that we saw earlier and the tapes. It shows all the different programs you can get. You can get the lightweight film, standard bicycle film, bicycle touring, ergometer, and Schwinn quality. And there it is, the Fairchild 70. And got some more information on the back. You can see be able to see a crate seat behind that one on the wall there. It's got all the tapes, all the part numbers, everything. There's actually 2 of them, 2 flyers, 1 for each unit. So that's set 40. Set number 41. You guessed it, even more paper. We'll start up in the back here. We've got Schwinn employee uniforms and the order forms. We've got something called Born to Run, which I think is films about 10 speeds. Some information, bicycle safety compliance. That's a decal, goes on the door. There's bicentennial bikes. I'm not sure where that picture came from. Here's an order form, so you can order promo items. All the promo items are around here. There's tools and belt buckles and all sorts of neat stuff. There's that belt buckle that we saw earlier. And then more promo stuff. There's the t-shirts. This beach tote, which I don't think I had that one. There's a beach hat. Then we've got some leather belts, keychains, some tools, specials, and then this wire art thing, which is coming up in a minute. Then we've got bicycle order form, and it's actually dated 1964. You can see the carbon copy, dated 64. And then this is ad mats for 1968. This is all of the pre-printed advertising that Schwinn would provide for the dealers so they could do newspaper ads. You can see all the stuff. There's Ram's Horn Orange Crate, you know, all the different bikes. There's it would always put 0 in for the pricing, and then the dealer would put his price in there. You know, there's a Fair Lady. Let's see what else we got here. Ram's Horn. All kinds of neat stuff. So that's a complete set of ad mats for $68. Number 42, here we go. Got something called a Schwinn Want Book. Evidently you could fill out stuff you needed for the dealership. This is a special feature display frame order form. That's that upright frame that holds the two posters back to back. We had that disassembled earlier. Say you need some checkerboard mirror decals. Got a few of those. Here are some more of those 63.5 Stingray intro inserts that would go inside the sales books. Here's another Schwinn security patch, NOS. And we've got something called a Schwinn Profit Fair, 1972. Obviously some sort of dealer meeting. I have no idea what that thing was all about. There's a pamphlet from it. And then we've got instructions on how to put on your two very politically incorrect patches. Polish bicycle built for 4 with bikes hanging off it. With kids hanging off the bike. And then Polish biker riding a bike with square wheels. And then saved a couple of the best things here for last. We've got a framed set of head badges. Obviously in the middle of production, not completely stamped. Obviously from the factory. And then down here, 2 Schwinn Christmas cards. This one's from 1973, and you can see the address of the factory on the back there. And this is like a velvet kind of feel to it. And it says Merry Christmas and all good wishes for the new year, 1973. And then this one has a 68 orange on it. And this one is also like a velour, velvety kind of feel. Got the same thing, not dated. I'm going to guess 68. Merry Christmas and all good wishes for the new year. With a 68 orange crate, you can actually see orange crate on the chain guard. So, 2 very cool pieces there. Set number 42. Number 43. Start out with some service tags. Big stack of later style script service tags. There's a couple stacks of earlier style, the cross. Then we've got service warranty, some stuff for used bikes, like that. Super service used bike tags. Then there's this one comes with Bendix brakes. Then we've got a couple flyers that might have gone in those flyer holders. Bicycling for fitness and fun, and Schwinn bikes for better health. Got a weight problem? Get back on your bike and pedal the pounds away. Then we've got some, looks like some decals that went on the drawers to organize the parts. Then we've got 6 more gift certificate books, probably enough to get a few Stingrays even at today's rates. And then over here we've got a whole bunch of the red tabs that they used to use to hold the owner's manuals onto the bikes when they were sold. And then here we have a whole collection of sales brochures, all the way from 64 to 80. Got 2 64s, a 65, a 66, 4 67s, a 68, 2 69s, a 70, 2 71s, 2 72s, and a 73. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's doubles and whatever mixed in here. It goes up to 80. But they're all there, 64 to 80. So that's set 43. This next item is just awesome. This is a banner that was put up at one of the regional meetings that they had, a dinner or something, I don't know. It's like a flag. It's made out of the same material as a flag. It's like a nylon. All the letters are nylon and they're stitched on. And this thing is like 8 feet long. It is just one of the coolest things I think that I have. I'm going to see if I can get up closer and get some detail. Maybe you can see the stitching on this thing. I'm not sure this is going to even come out. It's got a couple little spots on it. There's a spot there. There's like a little spot down here. But besides that, no tears. This thing is mint. Really, 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 really cool. This is a Schwinn banner. It's actually just vinyl with some eyelets in it. It's got the red later logo on it. That end's just curled up. This one's in pretty nice shape. I've got two more of these. One's in similar shape, but it's got a little split in it. And then the other one is kind of hurting, but still usable. So, like I said, there's three of these things. They're about 8 feet long. Pretty damn big. 8 by almost 3 feet, I think. Hope you get the space. This next item is a little bit newer, but still kind of cool. This is the Cycle Madness banner from outside of a store. This one was used. It's a little bit wrinkled up. Some of the stitching's coming out, but still in pretty good shape. And still a pretty neat pieces. I guess about 7 feet long or so. Good sized banner. It's like plastic, all stitched around the edge. But this is when they first started redoing the Stingray stuff. Pretty cool. This next item is pretty rare. This is the only one I've ever seen of these. This is actually a rain suit. It's nylon. It's got the racing stripes on there. It's got the Schwinn logo on the patch. It's also got a hood that zips out. And then it's actually got pants that unfold out of the bottom of it. Really interesting piece. I don't know if you can see this. It's going to be upside down, but it shows you instructions on how the thing works. Really, really slick piece. Not in the greatest shape because some of the lining of the nylon is starting to flake off, but no tears or major damage in it. Very neat piece. Set number 21. Two of these Fairchild 70 tape player machines. These are the ones that played the tape loops. They'd be on display on the countertop in the store. All different tape loops. I've got actually a bunch of the tapes in another batch coming up. Didn't get down to them yet. I actually have no idea whether these work. Never tested them. Never tried them. But I'm assuming that they were working when the store had them. Here we have an old neon sign that I got from a store, a local store, that has since gone out of business. This has been hanging in the window of this store since the 60s. It's the sign with the original transformer and the angle brackets it was hanging on the window with. This guy had this hanging in the front window of the store forever. It's a script logo in neon. I cannot remember what color it is. I believe it's red. It works. To the best of my knowledge, I saw it working the day we unhooked it and put it in a box. This outside piece is just a frame, and that has been broken for a really long time. There's no provision for that to light up. That was just designed to hold the rest of the glass. There's the original transformer. When I took this off the wall, that was working, believe it or not. I bought this right out of the front of the store, and since this store has gone out of business. Came out of Everybody's Cycle in Northborough, Mass. This is a Schwinn lighted clock. Also came out of a local store. This one came out of Needham, I think. Got a couple from that guy. This one has not been cleaned. As far as I know, it works. All the clocks I have work, as far as I know. Needs a good cleaning. I just haven't had a chance to do any cleaning to any of these things. In good shape, lights up. First of a bunch of clocks that I have in my collection. Here is yet another clock. Square plastic clock. This one, a lot of people don't know this. This one actually still has the clear plastic lens over it, you usually don't see that. They're usually gone. This one is a little bit yellowed, but in pretty nice shape. I don't see any cracks in it, maybe a couple light scratches, that kind of thing. A couple scratches around the edge of this. Not quite sure how these clocks tended to take kind of a beating, but I would have thought they'd be in real nice shape because they'd be hung up on the wall, but this one appears to have survived. Still looks pretty nice. Here is yet another square plastic electric clock. This one seems to be in pretty nice shape, although it's a little bit dirty. Looks like it would benefit from just a half decent cleaning. All I ever did was dust a lot of this stuff off. I didn't really get into cleaning it a whole heck of a lot. Looks like maybe there's a little bit of paint loss on the front there, the front edge. But besides that, it looks to be in pretty nice shape. Just another version of the square electric clocks. Set number 25. We'll start off with another backpack. This is a red one, just like the orange one that was in the last set. That one's new with the bag. I pulled it out to film it. Item 2 is another style backpack. This one just has 2 plain straps and 1 snap cover at the top. Also new in the bag, pulled it out to film it. And then item number 3, the bad boy, the BMX fake sheepskin lined jacket. This thing is NOS and it is just awesome. You can see the logo on there. It's a it is a small, but it's just perfect. It's a really neat piece. I actually did wear it one time at a show, so technically it's not NOS, but this thing's new. Really, really neat piece. These might look like your average run-of-the-mill reissued Stingray Slicks from Schwinn, but they are, except if you take a close look, they actually still have all the little nipple things sticking out of the letters. So these were never buffed down at the factory. These are actually first shots out of the mold that were never finished for sale, for retail sale. Got some black walls here, 3 black walls. This one back here is a raised white. Might be able to see the white where I pulled off a couple of the nubs. And then this one is also a black wall. It's really thin and wimpy. It's really flexible. I'm not even quite sure what that one's all about. But these came out of a bike shop in Ohio. This huge bike shop that sells nothing but closeouts. They must have somehow bought all these pre-production tires from Schwinn, because they had piles of them. I bought a whole ton of these, and this is all I have left. I actually took them and buffed them down and sold them, and I kept a few just for posterity. So there they are. Probably recognize this. This is the Schwinn quality board. Had all the pieces of the frame and the wheels and all that stuff, bearings on there. This is the later version. It's in decent shape. Still has not been cleaned, but it's in pretty nice shape. And someplace I do have most of the hooks and the parts that go on here. I've actually got 2 of these, I think. 2 boards, and I should have most of the stuff that goes on there, all the rims and the frame parts and stuff. But with this one, I've actually got Schwinn Reporter announcing this one. There it is, right there. Okay, this is a display stand for posters. Stands up in the Schwinn store. Some of this display stuff has been disassembled, and I'm sorry, I'm just not going to put it together. To give you some idea of how this goes, This is the base right here. Sits on the floor, and then these two uprights bolt to it. They stand on there like that, and they make one goes this way and the other one goes that way, and they go up underneath this thing and they go in between the side of it in that gap there. And so you can have these posters standing up in the middle of the Schwinn store. They're at like eye level. It's two-sided, so you can put posters on both sides. I'm afraid you're going to have to use your imagination on this one. This is that display stand that's got the drawer underneath the shelf, and then it's got the Schwinn sign at the top of the paneled looking spine piece. It's just disassembled. There's the uprights for it. There's the feet and stuff for it. There's all the hardware back there. That's actually the hardware for that poster thing that's in the other shot. But this is in pretty decent shape. It is used, but it's all there. It's even got that wire hanger thing. I have no idea what you'd hang on that, but it's got it. And it's in pretty decent shape. This next set is a collection of Schwinn tools and a welcome mat. This one's in pretty decent shape. It looks like it's got maybe some black paint or something on it, but it's pretty good. I've got another one that's really beat, but comes along with the package. Start over here. A couple Schwinn kickstand tools and 1/4-inch drive ratchet stuff. All of the tools here have Schwinn cast into them. So even these ratchets and extensions and everything say Schwinn right on them. We'll start back here. That's an NOS pedal wrench. Then we've got some NOS wrenches here with orange-red handles. Then a used set. Most of a set anyway. Looks like a set of the later red handle style. And then these are actually new metric cone wrenches. And over here we've got pretty well used set. Looks like almost 2 complete sets of cone wrenches. And we've got all these little wrenches here. They all say Schwinn on them. These are all metric. And then wouldn't be complete without 2 snap-on Schwinn ratchets. Wouldn't put anything else on your crate. It's even got cool orange paint in there, a little bit left. Item is just a box of boxes, basically. It's all empty boxes and bags from vintage Schwinn stuff and from Bendix stuff. There's chain guard boxes in there and touch-up paint boxes, a caliper brake box, loads of bags, fender strut bags, handlebar tape. That's some pedals, a speedometer. There's a whole thing of Bendix stuff in there. Just loads and loads of boxes. I always saved them just in case I found all the stuff that went inside them. Neat display items. This next collection is a series of posters. No specific crate stuff in here, but there's some neat stuff. There's a Make It a Schwinn Christmas. It's obviously from the 70s. This one is 1974, I believe. Gas Crunch. He's saying fill her up, put some air in my tire. And we've got Factory Train Reliable Service. That one's got a picture of the 10-speed derailleur. Derailleur gears, get there faster, all your features and benefits. And then we've got Complete Assembly Checklist, Part 1. And Part 2. You want to make sure your bicycle fits you properly. Tells you how to measure that. Now in stock, quality Schwinn bicycles, give the best. Must be a Christmas thing. And the last one is obviously not Christmas. May is Schwinn Bike Month. These are all in really good shape, but I must apologize. The frames are probably the cheapest thing ever. Two more really big posters. These are about 4 feet long. Looks like they go in the front window of the store. And they're Christmas posters. And this one says, ask about our Schwinn Christmas layaway. A small deposit holds your bike. Brand new, still has the tape backers on there. They'd stick them to the inside of the front window of the store. Christmas time. There's another one underneath there. I'm going to uncover that one so you can see that next. And this one says, Schwinn Christmas bikes are here. And I've got an elf riding on a 10-speed there. Once again, brand new. Never been stuck. Schwinn dealer window posters. Here's yet another poster. This one is the famous Schwinn guarantee. No time limit. Figure that's still good? Go ahead and break your Stingray frame and see what they say. That one is another NOS mint poster. Just disregard those books. Those are the only thing that you're going to see that you'll see more than one time in a video. So anything else that you see besides these two books, which were in this one and the last ones with the long posters, everything else that you see is only shown one time. So if you see multiples, there are definitely more than one of that item. Okay? There is yet another set of posters. This first one is Christmas display kits. It's an advertisement that went to the dealers. You could get all this stuff to advertise at Christmas time. It looks like 50s, early 60s kind of stuff. And then this big poster, it says advertised in life, nothing like a bike. And it says down here it's Bike Month. And it's got that kid riding his Stingray. Seen him in all the ads. But if you notice, all the bike names are sort of whited out, blurred out. So it's not actually a Schwinn poster, but you can see all the Stingrays and stuff on there. And this guy, he must have been related to the Schwinn family. And then the other poster we have is, next time, lock your bike. Get a little bit of reflection on there. There we go. Next time, lock your bike. And the poor kid's all bummed out. This one, the frame is really crappy. It's not worth saving, but the poster's okay. A lot of wrinkles in this one, but no tears to speak of. And it does have a 70 or 71p on there. And this guy obviously locked his bike, even though it doesn't have a bike lock on there. Another set of posters here. These are framed. They're in some pretty nice frames with glass in them. I had I ordered all this frame material and found a guy that had the right size glass and put together, I don't know, like 14 or 15 of these frames. And I got to about 4 or 5 posters, and that's about as far as I got. So I got a big stack of frames and glass and a whole bunch of posters that are not framed yet, but we've got the first set here. It's a guy fitting a woman on the back of a tandem. And then we've got, from your full service dealer, it's your best buy, why you should buy a Schwinn from the dealer. And then we've got one of the Christmas posters. It could never happen with a Schwinn, with a guy putting this bike together, and it's got like 2 sprockets and 2 seat struts and 3 sets of fenders and all sorts of extra parts. You can tell he just threw a bunch of parts in front of the guy and made him scratch his head with a wrench. And then over here we've got another one that's just showing a storefront. It's all Stingrays in the window, and more dealer guarantee stuff and that kind of thing. Most of these are in pretty good shape. This one is actually kind of the worst one. It's got some wrinkles and a little bit missing on the bottom corner down there. You can kind of see it. But unless you know it's there, you really don't see it once it's framed. For the most part, they're in pretty good shape, though. some more posters. These are framed with real nice professional aluminum frames, and they've got glass on them. We've got Schwinn accessories, and we've got the layaway poster. Looks like it was supposed to be stuck on the inside of the glass. They still have the paper strips on there, so those are NOS. And the next one we've got is another Christmas poster. This one's another scene with a guy trying to build a bike. Different one than the other one that we saw earlier. This one's got some tape on it on the corners, and it's got a pretty good sized chunk out of one of the corners there, but really doesn't sort of detract from it too much. Once again, framed in a nice professional aluminum frame with glass. And then I've actually got 6 more sets of framing material to do these 22 by 28 posters, and I've also got plenty of glass. It's professional glare proof framing glass that's pre-cut 22 to 28. So there's actually a lot more than 6 of those. I bought a whole bunch from a guy at one time. So there's at least 6 more poster frames and the glass to do them. Might have a little bit of a tough time with this one, but got a Captain Kangaroo poster. It says, "I always say, Schwinn bikes are best." And then we've also got, holding it down on the top, is the professional frame for it. I never had glass cut for it, but there's the frame. And then we've also got some pamphlets here. These go in the pamphlet holder things. This one's for exercisers, and then that one's basic bike safety thing. But the real deal here is the poster. It's even got some of those adhesive strips for the window on the top of it. Never been stuck. That one's still in the original tube. Actually, have the tube here someplace too. Schwinn bikes are best. Here's an item that probably a lot of people don't even know about. This is actually a tea set that was a promo that the dealers could get. I think they had to sell a certain number of bikes, or they had to do something, but they would get this tea set as a promo. You might remember we had some of these mugs before. They've got the ram's horn on one side and a 10-speed on the back side. Had a bunch of those separate earlier. This is actually a complete NOS. Looks to be unused. No marks, no stains kind of thing. There's a sugar bowl, teapot obviously, and the creamer. And a lot of people wouldn't even know what this was if they saw it. I believe I have some literature on it someplace in the giant pile of literature that's going to follow, but I can't promise. I know I've seen it someplace as a promo item. And it's the tea set. Another item that a lot of people probably don't know of or have probably not seen. It's a Schwinn inventory control board. And the way it would work is the dealers would put up on the board these square tags that have all the bike names on them. Go by catalog number there. And then they'd hang these colored tags on there to show which bikes they had in stock. So if they had a red J35-7, they'd hang that tag up on the hook with the J35-7 card, so they could tell which bikes they had in stock. And there are all the bikes in all the colors, all the bike names that would go on the board. The next set is all gear shift demo stuff. We've got 5 gear shift demos and a whole bunch of extra parts. So I've got 4 of these that are pretty much complete. These are the demonstrators that were used on the counters at the Schwinn stores to show people how the 10 speeds worked. Got 5 different ones here, all different years. Different configurations. Some have the shifters on the head tube, some on the down tube. Some of these are sprints. We've got nice looking crate style derailleur there. This one has been replaced. Obviously it's got a Shimano on there. It's kind of dusty. It's been there a while. This one's a real nice sprint derailleur. And then this one's a GT500 over here. And then I've got one over here that's in need of a cog set and a spoke protector, but that's pretty easy stuff to get. And then this one needs to be assembled. There's a crank for it. Got a whole bunch of shifter parts and front derailleur parts, rear hub, sprocket sets. There's the handle for it. That's the hard thing to get. So all the pieces are pretty much there to put this together. You might need to piece a couple things in, but 5 gear shift demos. Set 1 of the spray paint. These are the custom Fleck gloss enamel colors that you could buy, accessory colors you could buy to repaint your bike. We've got Groovy Green, one's got no lid, and we got 6 more with lids. Then we've got 3 cans of Fresh Avocado, then a couple cans of Wild Burgundy, then we've got Frosty Blue, Dusk Charcoal, and Rowdy Red with no lid. So that's set 1 of the paint. Set number 2 of the paint. These are some cool accessory colors. As you can see, it says Cool Green. Several cans of Cool Green lacquer. And we've got 1 can of custom acrylic high gloss enamel, True Blue. Then we've got 2 cans of Cool Blue enamel. And then we've got a whole bunch of cans of Cool Blue lacquer. More cool colors, accessories for spiffing up your bike. Number 3 of the paint. These are all early colors. We've got a whole bunch of terracotta. Those first ones are all NOS and full. Then we've got copper tone, copper tone, copper tone, bunch of copper tones, and then one called flamboyant red. That's an early one. And we've got a couple violets, earlier and a later. And we've got a whole bunch of lime green. There's some early ones and some late ones. Most of these are full and are NOS. Haven't tried to spray them, but they're new. Set number 4 of the paint. These are more of the crate colors. We've got sunset orange, lacquer and enamel. Then we've got cool lemon lacquer, and we've got campus green enamel. We've got silver enamel for your gray ghost. We've got 1 lonely can of cool orange lacquer, which is actually either full or mostly full, even though it looks not so good. 1 can of black for your black ram's horn. 1 sky blue fleck, and a whole bunch of red for your apple. It's got 2 colors listed on there, cardinal red and flamboyant red. Seems to be interchangeable. And here is the final set of paint. We've got, we'll start in the back row here, a whole bunch of aluminum undercoat. Most of those are new and full. Actually got an older one there. And we've got a copper tone, another copper tone that I dug out. Was in another box. This one here with no lid is actually white for cotton. And we've got a couple of burgundies. And then these over here are something called aluminum chrome, which is that fake chrome in a can. They must have used it as an accessory color. And then down here, we've got a bunch of used ones first. There's some terracotta, violet, red oxide primer, sunset, cool green, cool green, cool green. Then we've got white, cool orange, lime, campus green, Sierra brown, violet, another violet, and two blues. So I think we've covered just about every color you could have for a stingray. So let's see if you can guess what this piece is. It's made out of pegboard. It's framed. And it's got all of the hardware needed to build Schwinn bikes tied onto it with telephone wire, and all the parts are numbered. This is actually from the factory. This was taken out of the factory. Somebody there sat down and made this up as a reference so that the employees could tell what the parts look like when a build sheet or something called for a certain part number. You can see all the hardware, bolts, screws. There's a bunch of seat bolts and things. You might say, well, somebody probably just made this up. Stuck some Schwinn employee gum on there or something. But there are a couple hints on here that tell us that this is original, that somebody couldn't have just made this up. Those two things are right here. Not just the crate cable tab there from the front springer. Right above that we've actually got an overload tube that's never been crimped. So that was what they would use pre-assembly. They'd actually go get one of these pieces along with the other bits, which I don't happen to see here right now, but they might be here someplace. And actually assemble the overload tubes. And then the other thing here is this stud piece, 2846. That's actually the center stud to a stick shifter before it gets welded on. So there are a couple pieces here that you couldn't normally just go out and find, and that tells me that this is original. In addition to all the other neat stuff that's on here, there's another crate front brake stop bolt and springer parts and kickstand parts, and I think that's a seat shock spring. Just all sorts of neat stuff. And to see it all together the way it was in the factory is just totally cool. And it's got all the right patina on it. There are some parts that are missing on here, but you have the numbers, and I know there's a card that shows you what all the screws look like. I'm sure it would be very easy to put this thing back together to fill it back out. So that's one super rare piece right there. Okay, here we have the nail and wire art limited edition Stingray artwork, I guess you'd call it. It's on plywood. It's made all out of nails and looks like brass and copper wire and all sorts of other materials on here. There's some heavier wire making the fender. Down here you might be able to see signed by the artist. It's also signed on the back. Had a flyer earlier showing how you could order this. It was very limited edition. I don't know how many they made, but it was a special promo item that they had back in the early 70s for the Stingrays. They had a 10-speed one also, but that I don't have, just the Stingray version. So awesome, really neat piece. Okay, we're gonna have to try and see how this comes out. This is actually an NOS sign panel for the outside of a Schwinn store. It's like 6 feet by 5 feet. It's some kind of plastic or fiberglass or something, but it's never been hung up or outside. Brand new one. It's blue on the bottom. Says parts and service, or think, or something. Got to look over a Corvette here. Take a look at what's back there. Yeah, it says sales and service on the bottom, but that's the full panel for the sign. I actually also have, which is in storage, I can't show it unfortunately, I have a complete two-sided sign that was hanging in front of a Schwinn store in Rhode Island. I don't recall the name of the store, but it is both sides just like this, 6 feet by 5 feet, with the frame, with all the lights inside, and with some kind of little hooks or something that was hanging off a pole. It actually hung out from the store, and it was double-sided. Got the complete sign. It's supposed to light up. I never powered it up to light it up, but I do have, in addition to this, I have a complete sign. The one other thing that I have that I am not showing is I've got a large circular 2nd century dealer decal. It was like a window decal, things like 4 feet across or something. It's a huge circular decal. It's brand new, never been stuck, obviously rolled up in a tube. That's not going to be shown, but you can take a look at this sign, and like I said, it is NOS in addition to the other full sign that I have and the dealer window decal.